I don't know about you guys, but I cannot get this 30th anniversary edition fiasco out of my head. And yeah, so I've just got to talk about it some more with you guys. So let's dive in. What's up guys, DK here with Collector's Impact, and today we're going to revisit the topic of the 30th anniversary kit that Wizards announced that's going to be $1,000. And yeah, I've been really putting a lot of thought into this, probably too much, more than I should, into the into this fiasco. There's just so many thoughts that are racing through my head, so I wanted to go ahead and share a few with you guys and get your perspective on this. And share my perspective and see, you know, what you guys think. So aside from the typical talking points of this, which is simply that it's outrageously expensive, it's a money grab, it's an unnecessary tactic that they're using. Aside from all of that, but tying into it, I want to talk about the potential damage that this is going to do to the brand, to Wizards of the Coast's brand, and to Magic the Gathering's brand. And what ultimately that can do to the customer base, the player base. Okay, I'm obviously not alone in the sense that I feel a bit betrayed as a person who's been playing and collecting this game for a long time. And then they're going to come out with their fancy marketing tactics and talk about, oh, we wanted to, you know, give players the experience that a lot of people never got to have, opening alpha and beta packs of cards and pulling Black Lotuses and stuff. We wanted to give that experience out as part of the 30th anniversary. So here you can have the experience if you pay us $1,000 per 4 packs. Meanwhile, you've got to buy at least, the average is something like, now don't quote me on it because I was doing some analysis and watching other people's analysis on this topic, and it's something like 1 in 24 sealed boxes to get a Black Lotus from the average pull ratio. It's astronomical with the model that they've set up with the 1 rare per pack kind of model. I'm kind of rambling there, but if you guys have been following it, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You're not getting a Black Lotus in your $1,000 box if you actually spend that kind of money. Which, for the record, I am not going to buy this product. They would have to do some shady marketing tactic like lower the price down to $200 or something for me to actually want to initiate in this particular product line, which honestly that could be part of the strategy around this. They could have put out this $1,000 price sticker just to get the reaction that they're getting from the fans, to make people talk about it and raise brand awareness for the product, and then be like, oh yeah, we listen to you and we hear you, so we're gonna lower it to $500, or we're gonna lower it to $300, or whatever it is. My guess would be $750 to $500 or something, and they'll act like they're doing everyone a favor. And then you'll have people who be like, oh, well, it's like that Sonic the Hedgehog movie where they actually listen to the fans, and that's a good thing. We got to give them credit for listening to the fans, when it could just be manufactured hype and marketing using that tactic, which in and of itself is pretty shady if they're doing it that way. Anyway, that was a side ramble. So what I was getting to here is with the brand loyalty that these sorts of products and franchises have. There have been, I'm just going to zoom out here, and we're going to look at collectibles and or nerdy hobbies as a whole over the last 5 years or so. There has been a very noticeable trend that companies, large corporations with shareholders, come in, buy up properties that were made famous because of nerd culture and or, you know, nerdy hobbyists. And if you're offended by that term, whatever. I consider myself a nerd. It's fine. You should too. It's fine. But anyway, these companies come in and they buy these properties, and then they try to manipulate them and get money out of the audience, while also insulting the audience at the same time. This is it's a well-known thing that has been happening in like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Marvel. I mean, you pick any sort of nerdy hobby, and in recent times that has recent big corporate money involved in it, it's turned into, I don't know what you want to call it. You fill in the blank, but it's not what it was, right? And I don't want to see Magic the Gathering go that way. And this is like one of the bigger first steps towards that type of like disenchanting the spell on the player base. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people who are hooked to this game for multiple reasons, right? I mean, it's a great form of escapism, and people really like it. They're into the lore, they're into the cards, they're into the hobby and the secondary market. They're into collecting and exploring not just the world that the cards have to offer, but the communities in which the cards are played, the card shops, the local game stores, the gathering around the table with your friends and playing kitchen tabletop games. And introducing this new product is introducing so much division into this that it really could have very long-term consequences. And that's only the start. Like, if they continue this, like if this product sells out really well, and then they continue producing these, like say they do a limited edition Arabian Nights gold bordered back, 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary or whatever it is, 31st, 32nd, 33rd anniversary sets for like Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark, and they do this randomized booster pack at $500 or $1,000 or whatever, and you get cards from the Arabian Nights series in a very similar fashion. I wouldn't put it past them. If this goes well, they're going to probably do that, and then they would probably do like Tempest Remastered and Mirage Block Remastered and all of that kind of stuff, all with gold border backs, and the sky is the limit for them to exploit the gold bordered back thing if this goes well in the market. Now that can be a topic in and of itself for a whole nother video if we want to go really deep down the rabbit hole of that. But back to the point. This is really the main point that I want to make for this video. Is that with the trading card game of Magic, right, it really has kind of cast a spell over a certain number of people in terms of their love for the game and their love of collecting this hobby, right? I don't know what fancy term you'd want to use, so I'm just going to say casting a spell on us because it's freaking Magic. Why not? But there comes a point when you're in a abusive situation. This scenario with Wizards of the Coast is very much kind of like an abusive relationship where they're trying to extort a significant amount of money from their biggest fans just for a chance to get the biggest cards in the game's history and not even real official versions of them. I mean, they're officially licensed and produced by Wizards, so it does make them official versions, but they're not tournament legal, so you know what I mean there. It's a weird caveat. But you've got the brand loyalists out there. I am definitely one. I have been for many years where, I was trying to keep up with their crazy release schedule and buying at least one of every product that they released this year, and it's becoming ridiculous with the amount of products that they release, and then they throw this on top of it and stick a $1,000 price sticker on it, and I'm just like, no, I'm throwing my hands up. I can't do this. It's not, and it's no longer enjoyable. It feels exploitative. It feels it's breaking that love that you have, that I'm having for the game, at least temporarily. It's breaking that. It's breaking something that's been around for a long time in terms of the fascination and obsession that people have with these cards and the game. It's really it's not good. It's not good. What they're doing is not good. And even if it is a marketing tactic that they're going to reverse course and they're going to lower the price and act like they're some sort of hero, it's not good. Things that come to my mind are things like Blockbuster Video, right? When they were offered the chance to buy Netflix, when Netflix was a new company, and their arrogance led them to not buy it. And they're like, we're #1 in this space. We are #1 in the entire movie rental space. No one's going to dethrone us. We're fine. We don't need your crap. That kind of stuff. That business move, that decision put them out of business in the long run. It took a while, but it put them out of business. No one, Blockbuster's freaking gone. Do not think that Wizards of the Coast is impervious to such an event. It can happen. They can be dethroned, and they can be dethroned so hard that their game breaks. And if I will tell you this too, hot take, If Magic the Gathering dies, in my opinion, every trading card game dies. That industry, that would be the domino that just sets off a chain reaction. The only thing that might survive is the Pokemon trading card game, and that's simply because it's a slightly different model in terms of collecting, gotta catch them all with the Pokemon kind of thing. That they have a different model, though it is still a competitive card game that holds tournaments and events, and it's all based on a similarity to what Magic was. Hell, Wizards of the Coast is the company that produced Pokemon for the very first time through licensing with Nintendo and agreements and whatnot, but they're the first. Wizards of the Coast, because of their influence with Magic the Gathering, they're the people that Nintendo went to produce and sell Pokemon cards into the market for the first 3 or 4 years of the game's life. There is a strong link between even Pokemon and Magic, let alone every other trading card game in Magic the Gathering. If the spell is broken and people do not care about the game as much anymore, or the collectability aspect of the game because they don't trust the company that produces the game, after a 30-year time run, people are starting to lose trust in the integrity of the company. That's what's important, is the integrity. And you get this company out here, Wizards, claiming that they're so morally superior. Oh, we're removing these offensive cards from our sets and all this. No one really cares about that. What we care about that's offensive is you price gouging for $1,000 for these packs. That is far more offensive than the card Crusade. I don't know, maybe I'm alone there, but ooh, Crusade, ooh, it's not an offensive. Reaching into your customers, your loyal customers' pockets and trying to steal $1,000, that's dirty. That is really, really dirty. That's far worse than printing a controversial card like Crusade or Earthbind or whatever. Go f yourself. But yeah, sorry, getting a little heated. Yeah, but for this video, I'm sure I can make more videos on this topic if you guys are interested to hear more. But that's the main thing that I wanted to say, is that if this particular move and the way that this plays forward, if this kind of gets people so upset, there is a point where they can get so upset that it breaks that spell over the player base, and then it makes you less inclined to be like, you know what, I'm not that hyped about Dominaria Remastered. I'm just not, because I would have been hyped over the 30th anniversary set, and I would have participated in that and enjoyed the ever-living hell out of it if it was in my price range, but they intentionally stabbed you in the back kind of a situation, you know? So it leaves you with that feeling like, why do I care? Why do I care what else you release now? The game's 30 years old. There's thousands and thousands of cards. You can technically stop buying the cards. If you just care about the game, you can play with the library of cards that you either already own or that you can readily access for very cheap. It's not an issue. Or you can go the route of just making proxies. You can get your printer ink cartridge and go for it. The game mechanics don't change. It's the your desire to help support a company like Wizards of the Coast. That desire, that loyalty, it starts to fade and go away. And I'm starting to feel that a little bit myself just from this move. I'm sure that it's just anger talking at the moment, and that can clearly change over time. Time heals all wounds kind of thing. But if this is going to continue to be a trend, if this keeps popping up over and over again, it's going to do so much damage to their brand and to the secondary market. And I don't know, that's just my initial thoughts. I could be 100% wrong. Again, this is just me rambling and ranting. Let me know what you think. I'm out for now. I'll come back and talk about more if you want to hear more. I can go into some more details and things, but yeah, for now, peace. Thanks for coming by and checking out the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you back for another video in the future. Take care.